So there are two types by which we can deal with conditions. So let's see this in action. Okay. So let's say 5 more than 4 and 5 more than 2. This will give us true because both the conditions are true. 5 is more than 4 and 5 is more than 2 also. And this AND operator says if and only if this and this both are true, give true. However, if any one of them is false, it will not give true. See, here 5 is more than 4, right? But 5 is less than 2. If 5 is more than 2, but here it says 5 is less than 2, which is false. So what that means? What that means is one condition is true and the other one is false. This one is true, this one is false, this one is true, this one is false. If any one condition is false, it will give you false. The only condition where this will give true is when both the conditions are true. Okay, like this. Let's have a look. True and true, true, true. Sorry, and false, false, false and true, false, false and false, false. This was the AND operator. This is the only condition where this will give true. Okay, we will use this a lot. Now the next operator, next logical operator is OR. Okay, so let's use it. Let's say 5 less than 2 or 5 more than 3. What do you think it will give us? True. Now why is it true? It is true because it's OR, and OR says if any of the condition, any of the given condition is true, if any of the given condition is true, it will give us true. It doesn't matter if the other condition is false or true. It really doesn't matter. Okay? Here this condition is false. So now it checks if this condition is true. Now it is true. So that's why it gives us true. Now let's see these conditions. True and true. Sorry, or true will give us true. True or false will give us true. False or false, sorry, false will give us, sorry, both are false. False or true will give us true. So as you can see, if any one of them is true, it will give us true. If both of them are false, only in that condition it will give us false, else it will give us true every single time. So like in this case, 5 is less than 2, so it's false because it is not logically possible, right? 5 can never be less than 2, so it's false. But here 5 is more than 3, so it is true. And if 1 is true, then it gives true. And there are conditions when you use these things. You say if a person's, let's say I'm an Indian, so let's say there is an official authority which provides us unique ID card or unique citizenship. Now, citizenship will be provided on the basis of two things: a person's age and a person's nationality. Let's say the condition is like that: if the person's age is more than 18 and if the person's nationality is India, it will validate it. It will then it will then only give the ID card, else it will not. So which condition is this one? Both the conditions has to be true. Both the conditions has to match. So this is AND. Okay, this is AND. Now let's say okay, so let's say you want to go for masters. You are a student and to go for masters for computer science. So the prerequisite has either you have to be graduated or you have to have the relevant skills, the relevant IT skills. Now let's say you have a college degree but not the relevant skills. So one condition is true and another one is false. Now you get to admission because it is a OR operator. If any one is true, you will get true. That means the work will be completed. So the admission process is like that only, that if you have a degree, then you are allowed. If you have relevant IT skills, you are allowed. If you have both, you are allowed. Only if you do not have any of those, that is if you do not have skills, you do not have degree, then only you are not allowed. Then only your admission will be cancelled. Okay, so that's how it works in the real life. When we progress, I'll show you even more examples, and there will be real life scenarios where we will need this a lot, really a lot. So okay, let's move on to the next thing. Is there something left? Anything I haven't said? I guess not. Okay, there's another thing. There is one another way. Maybe I'll show you in the next class, but still, let me show you this thing. There is a variable called price equals 50. So let's say the price of an item is 50 and number of item is 10. So what is the total amount? If every item has a cost of 50 rupees, what is the total cost? So total cost can be found using print like this. Put this thing in strings. Whatever you write English alphabets, wherever you write English alphabets, be sure to use these double quotes. Okay, so write like this. So total cost of the the total cost is, give us ace. Now use the plus sign. Plus sign means just concatenate things. And what does concatenate mean? Plus sign means this is a string, this is a string, join it. Just join it, okay? And you will more understand about joins when I teach you strings, okay? I have not yet reached that section. That is a quite complex section and I'll reach out to that. But just know this, if you add two strings, let's say my name plus is John, that means my name is John. My name plus is John. If I give a plus sign between them, it becomes my name is John. Okay, that's how it works. Now if I say the total cost is, I want to show you the error, okay? Maybe this will give you a big error, okay? Price into number. So you will guess this will work and this shouldn't actually. See, read this thing, type error. Can only concatenate string, not integer to string. So what happens actually? So you have bought 10 items, each of rupees 50 or whatever your country living, it may be dollars, whatever. Its cost is 50. So 50 into 10, how much is it? 500, right? So 500, what is it? It is a string? No. Is it a float? No. It is an integer, right? So when you try to add integer with the string, because the total price is, this thing is a string, right? because it is a combination of English alphabet. So this is a string. But this price into number is an integer. So if you try to add them, the Python interpreter will be confused whether to actually add it, how to actually add it, it won't know, because that is a string and this is a, because you cannot add let's say 100 with your name. If I say okay, add 100 with your name, that will be really funny, because that is not possible, not even in real life. So that's why your interpreter will give you an error. But then uh, you know, there are times when you have to print these things out. So here you will need this thing. You will just have to put this in str parenthesis close. So what this means is price into number, whatever the integer is, just convert into string and then print it. See, the total cost is 500. Now it does not give error because I have converted both these things. Okay, I have converted okay, what happened to the camera? Okay, I've converted this price into number. It was 500, so that was the integer. Now I just forcefully converted it into a string, and this was already a string. So if we try to add two strings, it won't cause any problem. Now you might ask that will adding a float with integer make some problem? No, it won't. Adding a float and the integer won't cause any problem. Let's say this was 500. Now let's take another example. Okay, let's say print hello plus world. Okay, be sure whenever you use these strings with this plus sign, make sure to leave a space like this, because if you don't, consequences will be bad. It will be like this. See, there's no gap between hello and world. So in order to give a space, you must leave a space in the first word itself. Now just press enter. See, it does not have any problem. Now if I just remove it and say 12, it will give error. But again, if I try to add 12.5 with 12, it will give you 24.5. So float plus float is float. Float plus integer is float, and integer with string, if you add them, it will give you an error. And obviously you cannot add boolean, I guess. Let's see. I don't know. This is the weird part of Python. Okay. So what this actually does is, as I told you in one of my earlier classes, that in a computer understand only two things, on and off. So for on, the value used to be 1. In modern days, this 1 is considered to be true. This 1 is considered to be true. So that's why a true means 1. For computer it's 1. For Because computers only understand two things, 1 and 0. If it's 1, it means true. If it's 0, it means false. Okay. So true plus true, that is 1 plus 1 is 2. Now let's see what happens if we add true plus false. See, it gives us 1. Why? Because true is 1 but false is 0. So 0 plus 1 gives us 1. Now if I say false plus false, false plus false, it will give us 0, because 0 plus 0 is 0, obviously, right? So that's how it works. So true also has a value, and this is a secret. Okay, so that's how variable works. And I guess the session has ended. Let's see if there is some other topics. Okay, let's show you comments. Okay, comments are very important, and comments in Python looks like this. Hello, I am Sarkar. So it actually does not do anything. This thing does not do anything. I love Python. Again, it doesn't matter how much of these hash you give. So what exactly is a comment? So you will say, if this doesn't do anything, why do we even use it? So the reason is, let's say you have a big team. You have a very big team over the world, across the world. So you are working on a project, big project. Now you have worked 20% of the thing, and the rest 20% of the thing will be done by others based on the previous 20% of your code. So you have done this much, the other person will give this much, but this will be dependent upon this. So the person writing this much of code has to understand what you have written here, and comment is a way to let them know how the code actually works. That is why we use comments, and comments are very important thing in Python. Okay, so anytime you write a program, let's say you are practicing you are practicing on HackerRank or HackerEarth or whatever, wherever, be sure to write comments, because writing comments will make sure that others can actually read your code, can actually understand your code. It doesn't matter how much fast you can solve a problem or like that. If others cannot understand your algorithms or whatever you have written and how actually it works, it won't make any sense. Because in bigger companies, when you will work, your code has to be readable first, and then they will check the other things, but it must be readable first. That is the thing, that is a very essential thing. So make sure you write comments everywhere. Even you have to give comments even in the smallest part. Okay, remember, comments are very important, a very crucial part of Python, or wherever, no matter which programming languages you use. Comment is very important, because if you do not write comments, in fact, let's say you have thought of this particular solution to a problem, and you have written 100 lines of code today, and after 5 months you revisit the code. Trust me, 90% of you won't remember anything what you have written 5 months ago if you did not write comments properly. If you did not write comments, you will see, my god, how it actually works. Okay, how this works. Okay, I cannot understand this will happen if you do not write comments. So it is also a reminder to yourself that it used to work this way, it works in this way, that way, so that even if you open that same project after 5-6 months, you will understand how it actually works, and it won't cause any problem. So remember to use these comments. Okay, so let's say name, should I take Frank Castle? Okay, he's a very, he's my favorite one. He's the Punisher. So I write this now. Just give a comment here. A comment is a line of code that won't be executed. Okay. So a comment is basically a line of code. It is also a code. You write these things in a code, but your interpreter won't execute this. It will it will only work as a guide for the developers only. It is not uh, necessary for interpreters or compilers. Okay, compilers or interpreters does not care if you have written comments or not, because eventually it will understand how thing works, but you won't as a human, and that's why you need to write comments. So for example, I write name of the Punisher, of Marvel's Punisher. Now, if you revisit this name, you won't be you won't have to get confused. Like, okay, Frank Castle. Okay, who's this man? I never heard of him. Let's say you are too busy to forget him. I know this is near impossible. He's amazing. So whatever. Let's say you have forgotten him. Now, after 5 months, you came back and say, "Who's Frank Castle? I don't know this guy." But if you notice this comment, name of Marvel's Punisher, now you will see, oh, that Punisher, your memory will automatically regain. Oh, that's the name of the Punisher. I see, I see. Okay, I remember. So that's how comments works. Okay. And is there anything left to teach? This video is actually very long. I know. Please hold on, guys. Bear with me. Let's see if there's anything else left. Because I want to make sure you guys understand everything properly. And that's my goal. And I'll make sure I do it. So, okay, user inputs. User inputs. So, let's say you want to, there are programs, you will face many times that you've seen, right? Softwares will ask you for your name, uh, enter your name, enter your password. Now, how it actually does it? It uses some kind of function which actually says, hey, enter the value here. And you put the value, press enter, and it gets stored. We can do this in Python. Let's say you want the user to enter his name, and you want to print it. Okay, so let's see how we can do it. So and yeah, remember this thing, you have to store the name somewhere, because variables, containers, value you have to store, because you directly cannot work with it. Okay, you actually can, but again, it's a matter of readability. It doesn't matter how you solve your, it actually doesn't matter that you can solve your problem. It matters that if your code is readable enough or not. Readability is one of the most important aspects of Python coding. Okay, so let's say name. This is a name of the variable, and there is this function input. So input will will ask for your name. See, there's no this triple arrow thing. Okay, this thing is not right here. That means it is asking for your name. So I can give hello. So now if you print out name, oops, sorry, name, it will give you hello. Now there are times when you will, want to say the user that, hey, enter your name. Oops, sorry, I forgot to close this in strings. Hey, enter your name here. Now you type your name in. Okay, so your name, my name is Deep. Now if you print your variable name, it will give you Subhodeep. Okay, is that clear? I'm showing this again. Name equals, enter your, okay, sorry, input. Now this input function will actually prompt you for your name or whatever, for a value. Now between these codes you will write what you want to show the user, what you want the user to enter. Okay, so let's say you want to enter the age, enter your age. So my birth date is 2000. Oops, sorry, my age is 19. So now there's one interesting thing. So what's the interesting thing? Let's see. Print your name is plus phew, name. Oops. Sorry. I think I need to change this. Okay, I just entered the name again. So I write Shubhadeep. And there is another variable called age, which will store your age. Input enter your age. This will give you let's say enter 19. Now here's the interesting thing. If you try to print these, your name is plus, sorry, name plus age, sorry, okay, it works fine, right? Your name is Subhodeep and age is 19. But what do you have entered? 19 and 19, and what is 19? 19 is a integer, right? 19 is an integer, right? You think like that? But if you want to add, let's say you have grown up 10 years old, okay? So age plus 10, you will get an error. And why is this so? Now remember this, whatever the user inputs through the input function you have seen, whatever the user inputs, it will be a string. If you want to perform arithmetics, you will have to convert this thing into an integer. Okay, so you'll have to convert this 19 into integer like this, because I've earlier shown you, you cannot you cannot add an integer with a string, right? So here age is not an integer because you have taken the input from the user, and whatever the user enters through the input function, it will be string regardless of he enters integer thing or whatever, float or true false, whatever, it will be integer. Now you can convert it like this, int, anything I put between will become integer, age plus this one 10. See, now it gives us 29 because now it can actually perform calculations because this thing is an integer. It was previously not an integer, but now it is an integer. So integer plus integer, it can add easily. But let's do some silly things, okay? Integer, hello. So if I say that you can enter anything, it doesn't mean you can literally enter anything. No, you can only give strings that can be a number. That can be a number, okay? Not everything. So that's how it works. Now I'll show you how to update it. Let's say type age. It is still string because we actually haven't changed it, right? We haven't changed the age variable. We have just made it an integer and then added 10. We haven't actually made the changes. In order to make the changes permanent, we'll have to give like this, age equals str age, sorry, integer age. So this line of code means that age variable has the previous age variable, which was previously string, converted into an integer. Now if I directly write age plus 10, I'll get 29. I won't have to give this thing, this integer thing, because it is by default integer. See, that's how it works. So what can you do to directly convert it? You will have to do this one. Age equals input, sorry, input, enter your age. So if you enter directly this, it will take any string, right? Because whatever you enter is a string. But you can convert it directly into an integer using the int function right here. So use the int function. Now if you, because I told you anything you give between integer, I mean anything that can be a number will be converted into a number. So if I say 19, what do you think age will be? Type age. See, it is integer. It is no more string. But if I just simply remove these things, 19. See, is now a string. I can also do like this. So now you see the value of the age variable is oops. See, it's 19.0 because while taking the input, I have converted it into a float. So automatically a decimal will come. Now if I check the type of the age variable, it's float. So that's how you can directly convert your inputs. So that's how it works. Now, a word of caution. So let's say you want to work with a very large amount of string. Let's say you are copying a document from Wikipedia, and you know how big a document can be from Wikipedia, right? So let's say you have this 30,000 lines, 30,000 lines, sentences. So you have copied it from the internet, Control C, and here in the terminal, you have just pasted this thing into a variable. You can do this because obviously it's a string, right? But the problem with this is that in the beginning I have told you that variables do not have sizes. The more you add, the more the bigger it will grow. It has no size limitation. But the problem is variables reside inside your RAM. In the first class I have in the second class I have told you that if you eat up the RAM, your other programs will run slow, very slow. So if a thing is huge enough, do not use variables to store it. It's not a good practice. Put it into a database or into some file, but do not put this into a variable because variable can take it, but while taking it, it will eat up your RAM. That is your primary memory where all the things work. Okay, and your computer will automatically slow down. So if you copy 24,000 lines from Wikipedia and you paste it into a variable, it will eat up your RAM a lot, and I mean a lot, because variables do not have size limitation. It can be as big as 50, 60, 1 lakh lines, and as small as 1 to ABCD, whatever. So that's a word of caution. Do not use it. Okay, try to avoid these things. Now, one another thing, there is a concept called multi-line string. And what is multi-line string? Let's show you. Demo string equals multi-line strings starts with either this one or this one. Both are valid. You can use any of them. I personally use this one. Hello and welcome to Py-Volution. My name is Subhodeep Sarkar. You can contact me on contact website is now end it with these things only. Triple quotes, triple double quotes, three double quotes in other words. Okay, so this is a multi-line string. This is a multi-line string. And why it is multi-line? Because we have seen things like this single line things. Hello, my name is Shodhip Sakar, or hello world. These are single line things like this. demo string 2 equals hello world. This is a single line string and this is a multi-line string, and how we can identify using these things. If you ever see 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes, understand that it's a multiple line string. Now if you try to make this thing, okay, let's print it out. First print demo string and then print demo string 2. See, this is a multi-line, this is a single line. See the hello world last line. Now if you try to make this thing a double line, I mean like this, demo world equals hello. So let's say you do not end this code here, and you want to make this multi-line. You cannot do this because if you press enter, it will give you a syntax error. See, it will give you an, but if you do the same thing with three double quotes, it won't be giving you, it will be giving you 3 dots. See, if you use only a single, one double quote, it will give you error if you do not close it within the same line. But if you use these 3 double quotes and you do not end in that same line, it will give you space to write other things. See these dots, okay? Now close it with this. You can also do these things. 1 second. Demo world equals hello world. Hi there. You can also do this. So these are basically same, but again do not do things like these things, okay? Like let's say 1, so it will again give you an error. Either 3 double quotes or 3 single quotes, but not mix of those. Do not mix them. So that was it, guys. Anything left for me to teach? Okay, okay, done. I have covered all the things you will need for the class. So the session ends here. No, it's a very long session. I know it's a bit long, but please watch it. I have made this for you with my excitement and love for you guys, with my love for Python. So please watch it. Have a look, guys. And if you have any problem, do not hesitate to contact me. Okay. See you guys in the next video. Namaste.